All right, let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so you guys know the drill. I've got 5 topics. We're going to set the timer for 5 minutes. The first one is like a then versus now. So it's a good opportunity to do like a before and after, so like a glow up. But you can also, like for me, I'm going to pull from my pain points. And I know those are things that you guys have heard me talk a lot about recently. If you do not have a pain point list, put it to pen and paper, put it in your notes, put it somewhere. I personally put it in the Google gosh, I don't even remember what it's called now, that Google sticky note thing, Google Keep. Keep a running list. Pull from that list as often as you can, because those are going to be things that are like relatable to other people. So for me, I'm going to pull from my pain points and I'm going to talk about what life looked like 3 years ago before I found this opportunity versus what it looks like now. But then and now, okay, wherever your heart takes you right now, whatever you feel like talking on, that's what we're going to do. So I'll go ahead and drop it in the chat, and I'm going to set my timer and mute myself. All right, so that timer is about to go off, but I want to give you guys an example, especially for those of you who are just hopping on with this then versus now. And when it comes to like when I told you guys I talk about pain points. So mine, I'm not going to read you the entire thing, but it says, I need you all to know something. There was a time in my life that I was the girl holding up the line at the grocery store because I grabbed the wrong cheese for Wick. Super relatable, right? There was a time in my life where my family had to transfer money to my account just so I could buy groceries for my family or pay the light bill so it didn't get turned off. Relatable. There was a time in my life that I worked 2 full-time jobs just to pay the bills and I was still behind. Do you guys see how those are all like, that's all super relatable. Those are pain points. Those are things that I've been through, that I've overcome, that a lot of people are currently going through. And so it's important to share about those things because you want people to know like they're not alone. You need people to be able to relate to you and to know that like, hey, this opportunity could like, this might be what it looks like right now. And then in this post afterwards, I said, and then now, and I'm talking about how, I've been a stay-at-home mom for so many years now. Like I run $1 million sales business. My bills are on auto pay. I can go to the grocery store as many times a month as I need to, like that sort of thing. That's kind of where I'm going with that. So just as an example, I wanted to share that with you guys. Let me get back into the next one. So moving on, I want you guys to think about, and again, this can go product, these can go business, they can go wherever your like heart starts to go with it, okay? Where would you have ended up had you kept going down, had you kept doing the same things you were doing? Okay, so you can think, let's see, you can think like, maybe you were like somebody who fell like victim to the diet culture right before you found these products and realized that it was just a simple switch in nutrition. Where would you have ended up? Like you probably, you know what I mean? Like where would you have ended up? Same diet, same restrictions, same financial thing, like working 2 full-time jobs, paycheck to paycheck, struggling to pay bills. Where would you have ended up had you not found this opportunity? Had you not found these products? Again, think pain points. I'm writing from the place of where I am now versus where I will be in the future because yes, exactly. And if you are new, exactly like Sam said, talk from a place of where you're going. Like, hey, this is where I am now, but this is where like this opportunity is going to take me. This is where these products are going to get me. I shared about my confidence switch from never talking to being loud and proud of who I am, thanks to exactly. I love that so much. Okay, so where would you have ended up? Just think habits and different things that you were doing that you switched, right? That you made that switch on. Yeah, so basically, I'm just giving you guys like topic sentences that you can kind of free write on. That way, as you go throughout your week, like you have five different topics that if you wake up one day and you don't know what you want to talk about, you have nothing on your heart, maybe you're busy, you don't have time to sit down and plan something out, or you're sick, or something comes up. These are things that are very easy to just kind of pull from and throw up as a post or with a reel or an IGTV or anything like that. You can turn them into stories. So yeah, basically this is just me giving you guys five different things to have and pull from throughout the week. And something you guys I want you to know is as we go through these, you're not every time you're going to finish it, right? Like there's so many times where we do these and in the 5 minutes, I don't even come close to completing it, but I at least will like jot down some like bullet points or some notes of different things that come to mind. And then I'll circle back later and kind of like fill in the blank, fill in the missing pieces. So don't put so much pressure on yourself to complete these A to Z right now, which it's not going to happen with every single one. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. So we did the then versus now. We did the where would you have ended up. Now we're on our third one. If you guys hopped on this late, it's okay. This is recorded. I will post the replay. I always share this in Limitless. And then in the comment section of that post, I also put the topics. If you're somebody who doesn't need the accountability of sitting down with like my timer on this time, you can just pull the topics from the comment section and do it on your own time. So we're on the third topic of five. So this one is I want you guys to think about why did you start network marketing? What did you expect from it? And what have you gotten out of it like thus far? Okay, that one's pretty self-explanatory. I don't feel like I need to go into any crazy detail on that. What was the then versus now? It was whatever you wanted it to be. So it could be like a glow up, like a before and after. Me personally, I talked about where we were like financially and in our life 3 years ago prior to this versus like where we are now, kind of how things have changed. But it can be whenever you want it to be. So, what did you start? Why did you start network marketing? What did you expect from it? And what have you gotten out of it? If you're new, maybe like, right now the community is just like a huge part of what you've gotten out of it, right? Like, I know when I started, I gained a community that I didn't even know that I needed. Like, as a stay at home mom, like, I needed girlfriends. But at the time, I didn't really know it, right? So, that could be something that you've talked about. Maybe you've been here a week and you've found this new sense of like maybe you're a little bit more confident than you were like a week ago. You know what I mean? Like there's so many things. It doesn't always have to be money that you get out of this, right? Like there's so many other things. All right, I'm going to set the All right, there goes the timer on that. Hold on, you guys. You're able to save drafts to IG, right? Yes, I believe so. I personally don't. I just put mine in the notes section on my phone. I create like folders for my batch topics, and they all go in there. But I believe that you, I believe that you can. Yes, yeah. So you can save your own reels. You can save text and audio. Yes, I will. I'll message you once we get off here, and I'll explain all of that to you. All right, we've got two more to get through. In the comments, you guys, I want you to shout yourself out, like celebrate something that you have done recently. It can be paying off a credit card. It can be like maybe last summer you wouldn't even get into a bathing suit and get in the pool with your kids, but this summer, like you have. It can be, you've stayed consistent with your workouts. Like, what is it? I want you to celebrate yourself in here on something that you've done recently. Okay. And the reason that I'm asking you guys to do this is because this next topic, I want you to I want you to celebrate yourself. I want you to tell your network about something that you've done recently that you are proud of. Again, it can be something so small. It does not matter, but things like this show people because again, this like we are all about relatability. Like we need people to know that they can relate to us, that they're not alone. And when you celebrate your wins, it shows people who might be struggling with the same exact thing that like, hey, if she can do it, so can I. So let's see, someone paid off their Best Buy card, consistent to working out, graduated nursing school. That's awesome. Congratulations, Emma. Stayed super consistent with water and movement, wore a bathing suit top all day yesterday without covering up. You go, girl. See, all these things. Okay, I want you guys, whatever you put in there, that is what I want you to share about. Personally, I'm going to go like you guys know my husband's 1 year long deployment finally freaking came to an end. So I'm going to take a minute to shout myself out about that because I really haven't done that. So that's going to be this one. Okay. Celebrate yourself and something you've done recently. Yeah, and that's the other thing too, you guys. As you go through these and as you're typing out, be thinking about like what you can use for photos. Like, I talk about this all the time. You don't want your feed to just be like selfies, like the same photos of you, the same photos of your face. Like you want to switch it up. So like looking through these, I'm confident in my own skin and no longer feel like I need to wear makeup every single day to go anywhere. Okay, so that would be like a good opportunity to kind of like stand a little bit further back from the camera and take a photo like that. Or maybe like you've gone somewhere in like bathing suit or a beach recently, like that would be a good opportunity for that photo. So Andrea just bought a house, so I love that. She said she's going to take a picture of the house on her vision board and write about it. You and your boys finally got off the wait list in housing with cheaper rent. I can afford to. Okay, so you can like take a picture of your keys in front of your new apartment or your new house or something like that. Do you guys see how like it doesn't always just have to be like holding the camera right here taking a photo? So be thinking of what you want to use for photos as you go through. And something that I do when I have photo ideas is I just kind of will like write it as I'm typing out this caption at the bottom of my page. I'll put like what I have for ideas, and then when I'm planning, I know what photos I need to take, and we'll get into that later. But that's what I do. And another thing I do too, and I talked about this, is if I'm feeling like a lack of inspiration when it comes to feed photos, I'll go to like other network marketers pages, and I'll kind of look at like what they have for photos, and I'll screenshot different ones that I like that I can recreate to make my own, so that I'm switching it up and I'm not always doing the same thing all the time. Okay, so the very last one, and then we're gonna get into planning really quick, and then we'll hop off, is I want you guys to finish. This is one of those finish the sentences. And the sentence is, if you had told me. Okay, so finish the sentence, if you had told me. All right, you guys, the timer's about to go off on that one. So we're about to slide into the planning portion now. So if you do not have your planners or your notebooks or your sticky notes, whatever you plan on, go ahead and take those out. I got to switch positions here because my laptop's about to die. Also, keep in mind, this planning portion is like out of my comfort zone. This is not my strong suit. So you guys are going to have to give me some grace and bear with me. I'll share some of my tips and tricks. This is going to be a little bit different than Christina does it because not every one person like plans the same, right? Like we all have our own, like a different way of planning. So maybe you'll get some new ideas from how I go about it, but give me 1 second. I got to plug my computer in and then we will go ahead and get started. And this portion will only be like 10 to 15 minutes, if that. All right. So when I sit down to plan, what I do, so my planner, you guys, at the beginning of each month, it has this layout, right? Like it, you guys probably can't see, but it shows my entire month in one spread. And at the beginning of every single month, and I know Christina Tammy did a live on this in the team page a couple of weeks ago, but I plan my month. So I literally sit down and I look at this. And first of all, I plug in any of my personal things. So I have right in here when my husband's leave date starts. I have when we're going to the Great Wolf Lodge. I have appointments. I have when bills are due, everything like that. My cleaning, like I follow a cleaning schedule. So I put all of that in here. Okay. So all of my personal stuff. And then as far as business goes, I plan out promos. So I have like team promos that I drop every now and then. And again, like even if you guys only have one person on your team, start doing things like this, or you have one customer, start planning promos, start planning things when you have that one person, because it's much more manageable and easy for you to grow with it as your team grows and as your customer base grows than it is to wait until you have this big old team or this big old customer base. And trust me, it's way harder because that's what I did. Get into these habits now. So I will say, okay, on this day, I want to offer samples. So I'll plug that in on this monthly calendar spread. On this date, I want to do the stacking promo for my team. On this date, I want to offer free plus line items on orders of $160 or more. On this day, I want to offer sleepy samples, right? So I'll do like rest or the sleep gummies or and like balance things like that. I want to not the recharge patches. So I literally plug in everything on this monthly spread. Okay. And I also plan my goals at the beginning of the month. And I know, Chris, you guys should already have your goals planned because she did that at the beginning of the month. But everything goes on this monthly spread. And then when I go into a new week, I'm going to pull it. I'm just going to literally pull from this and plug in like what days they go to, right? So hold on, let me get to the day that I'm on. So I don't know if anybody else plans like that, but that is how I do things because I like to go into each week already planned. It's just a matter of like plugging in what, plugging it in. What day are we on? Today's July. I don't even know what the day is. Is it the 16th? Is it the 17th? It's the 17th. Okay, so we're going into July 18th. So when I pull up this weekly spread, again, I already know what promos I know what appointments I have on what days, I know what cleaning I need to do. So in this next 10 minutes that I'm about to block off for you guys, personally, so this is what one day looks like, right? This is one entire day. For me, I write out, so I have non-negotiables that I do every single morning when I wake up. And I am a pen and paper check mark person. If it's not written down, I'm not getting it done. It is so satisfying to me to be able to like do a check mark. And so everything that I need to do throughout my day, I have to write it down. So my morning routine, my non-negotiables is what goes first. So I literally, they have check boxes. So I've got self-development. That's the very first thing that I do every single morning. I write that down because I want to make sure that I'm getting that done. The next thing is products on my stories, writing it down, and then my post, and then my IPAs, and then I'm going to send a message into my team chat. And I think that's it. Oh, and then DMs and messages. I've been trying to clear those every single morning instead of like letting them pile up. So that's my morning routine right there. I have it all written down and I just check it off as I go, right? And then right below that, I'll do like my cleaning schedule for the day. And then below that, I will plug in any promos that I have going on that day. My post is up there. I'll put what post I'm going to talk about, right? So I'll pull from the batching, and right next to post, I'll do like celebratory, right? Like our celebratory post. And then at the bottom, like I said, that's my business. So I kind of break them up into different categories. And my business is the promos, any samples. I will pick like 2 to 3 what I call like background work. So it could be checking in with my team. It could be one-on-ones. It could be sending some follow-ups. It could be customer appreciation gifts, team appreciation cards, things like that. Things that I can do in the background that are working my business, they go at the bottom. So I break it into categories. And then as far as work with me's go, those are all in the Limitless page tagged at the top. I think no matter what team you're a part of, I know Lionhearted has them saved too. If you're new, I recommend plugging in all training, like all work with me's, all planning Zooms, all, like training Zooms, everything like that. So that you know, like until you learn the schedule. For me personally, I know the training schedule like the back of my hand. So I only plug in the ones that I know I'm committing to, that I know I'm going to get on. So it's totally your preference on how you do that. But for me, like I said, if it goes in here, I'm going to do it because I can't stand not seeing a check mark. So I'm not going to plug in Zooms that I know I'm not going to be home for. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of how I do mine. If you guys have any questions, drop it in the chat. Like I said, I'm really, truly not a planning professional. This is Christina's area. Yeah, now you just plug in what you can attend. Exactly. To me, I look at them as business meetings. Like I definitely prioritize, and especially if you're new, you guys, definitely look at them as business meetings and make it a priority to get on, like I would say at least 2 work with me's. Definitely the Sunday batching and planning, because it's going to help you get into the routine of like, I know content creation, especially when you start, it's intimidating. It's difficult, especially if you've never done it. You've never used your social media with intention. It's hard to find like creativity. So we take the guesswork out of that portion for you, right? And so I recommend those. And then I highly, like for me, Monday nights with Lindsay are non-negotiable for me too. So just look at it and see like what fits your schedule, and what you're going to pick as like a non-negotiable for you. I'm going to set a timer so we can kind of plan out our weeks, what we're going to talk about on what days, what photos we need, what Zooms we're going to be on, our personal things, everything like that. And like I said, if you guys have questions, drop it in and I will go ahead and answer them as I see them come in. And if I missed anything, can someone please let me know? Yes, Andrea, I love that. How she said, Christina started plugging in focused IPAs each day, which really helps me stay focused when I have small pockets of time during my day while I'm at work. Yes, and I do that too. Um, I've just been doing this for so long that like it just, I don't want to say it comes naturally, but I don't have to plug that in. I just like know to do that in my free time. It's kind of like a game that I make with myself. If I like sit down on the couch and I find myself like pulling out my phone to scroll, or I catch myself scrolling, I'm like, okay, I need to either turn this into something productive or I need to put my phone down. So I have like, I'll grow my network in like the free pockets of my day one day. Like no matter, anytime I get a free pocket, 5 minutes of growing my network. And then the following day will be like my day of interactions. So I'll go into like who I newly started following, and I will like go to their stories and like do some story interactions or some feed interactions, like 3-2-1s, things like that. But yeah, if you're new, definitely plug in a focused IPA. So in the morning or whenever it fits into your busy schedule, you're going to do a full round of IPAs, right? Everything. But then throughout your day, when you get free time, you're just going to pick one to focus on, whether it be growing your network, 3-2-1s, story interactions, whatever it is. Definitely plug it in so that you know which day is which IPA. Thank you for sharing that. I love that. I love that she shared that. Another thing too, I know right now we have the VIP reset trackers. And so something that I do like outside of that is like when they're not there is I create my own tracker every single week, because I'm a tracker person. Like I have to know what I need to fill, what I need to enroll, like what I need for PPA. Otherwise, like I don't do well just running blindly. I feel like it's the competitive nature in me. Like I grew up playing sports, so I'm just like naturally competitive and I want to like fill trackers and I want to like quote unquote win things, you know what I mean? So if I know that like I set a goal for this PPA or I set a goal for this amount of new enrollments, I have to fill that. Like in my I have to. So I create my own trackers. I don't need my cloud office to show me a tracker. I will get out a piece of paper and I will create one myself. And this is something that I was doing with my team for a while. At the beginning of each month, we would kind of do that. And I kind of want to get back to that and like invite you guys to do that with us too. But that's just something for another time. But create trackers. Whatever your goals are. It could be one customer, one new promoter. Like it doesn't have to be anything super crazy. All right, we're coming up on an hour. So if I missed anything, somebody call me out, let me know. If anyone has questions, ask them now. Otherwise, I think I'm going to go ahead and close this up. You guys should have been able to plug in everything in that time that we were just allotted. But okay, doesn't look like we have anything. So I hope everybody has a good Sunday. I hope you have a productive week and we will chat later. Bye guys.